Hello. This is a guide going over Belo'ren. This is more tuned towards the raid leaders and raid planning to make it more streamlined and to reduce the pools down to as few as possible. So if you're going to raiders, obviously a nice guide for the basics of the fight. Um, the reason I'm making this guide is because I feel the guides that are currently out do not factor in the 40 seconds you now have to DPS the egg in each phase, as well as the 290 odd eye level that you'll be able to be, as well as stacking raid buff. I feel like this boss is definitely a lot easier than people make it out to be, and I believe the strategy that I have come up with from looking through logs as well as talking to other raid leaders will definitely help reduce your pull count. Look at build for example here. Um, we were pretty much ready to kill it at the 46 pull mark, whereas at other guilds at this point in time, we're probably averaging around 100 pulls. We got it done in 71 through a little bit of trolling later on, but hopefully this guide will help mitigate that trolling. Okay, so let's get into the basis of the guide, as well as important immunities and assignments that you can do. So the basis for our strategy is, and you may see this from other guilds, but we do all range players, all healers, stack the soak, and that's the group soak. No immunities whatsoever for that soak. No healer externals, etc. So first off, and we can pull up a calculator here. This is the damage that you'll be taking on a stacked group soak. So it will be 3.6 million. And then divide that by your two soakers plus whatever range you have. So I believe, for example, we had, let's say 10 range. You have 10 range. This is the average damage you'll be taking. You add the healers in. So you can put melee into this soak. Just do the calculation for adding range plus healers into this soak first. And then if you feel like this number is going to be too high, then you can start adding melee players. We opted not to. It felt absolutely fine. And so, I'll show you the raid plan. The plan is simple. It's literally the group soak here, group soak here, group soak 3, and they're all okay. Group soak 1, group soak 2, intermission, group soak 3, group soak 4. As well as if you're using bills for assignments, easiest way, I just put circuit X, circuit star, circuit moon, circuit triangle, and you can do that through config by just changing this here. So question probably is, why do we not opt to do this general strategy of putting a group soak here and a group soak here, depending on the permutation of the orbs coming out, as in a north-south start or an east-west start? That is because I've had multiple conversations with different kills that killed it before us before I decided on the strategy, and the general consensus is it's just a lot easier to learn one single spot, and then you will learn both of the different options for orbs as you progress this spot. One key thing for the stacking and group soaking that I will point out is, and you definitely want to get this through the range player's head as fast as possible. This is very key. And you'll see it. Slow it down here. We have the group soak coming up. These orbs, and any orb to get to the position of the group soak, the ranged need to never be afraid to get these orbs if you're the correct color. always just gobble them up and go to the group soak. Other thing with the group soak, yes, you're stacking it. Do not be pixel stacked as the people with the soak, or you will knock each other up. Very important because there are classes that cannot get out. See, we go here. Group soak, important. If there are any like orbs during any point in time with these group soaks, and just generally, you want to stand at the front of the overlap as someone who's not part of someone who hasn't been targeted by the dive, so that you can get locked either towards the boss or just not towards an orb that's going to kill you. Cool. And then with this strat, and you'll see, I tried a few different things. The absolute best way I found with kicks was to, and for our kill, we did not do any comms for kicks. I know like there's guilds that are like, oh, just com 1 and 2. We had no problems once we got like the hang of it. Your first set of kicks assigned to range, the second kick's melee, and then the third kicks, if they do go off, put that on range, and then repeat that for the other sets. And that is just so you have time to kick them as they're sitting in the puddle, and then have melee kick them. I would have everybody focus these, especially if it's your first night on it. And then obviously focus the eggs. Now, to make birds a lot simpler, and this is going to seem very annoying, but I believe it definitely does help, is macros. So, first and foremost is the focus add macro. On this fight, you can only kick the bird of your color. Example, this isn't me, but if I'm white or yellow, I can only kick the light bird. You just cannot kick the dark bird, and vice versa. So, to help with this, and I wouldn't say it's absolutely necessary. I personally did this without using a kick macro. And I just always targeted first and kicked first. But if it helps, you just make two macros. One to target the light bird, one to target the dark bird, and that's just focus targeting before you use your kick. Now you can, in fact, and you'll see here, focus macro. I have these put in the note as well, and I'll just pull that back up. I believe I literally have these as just a, if we go into here, and if you have any questions or would like the assignments for this, just feel free to DM me on Discord or leave a comment. For CDs, I literally just have focus macros peppered in here, and that'll remind people to focus macro. Now, for the focus macro, you see the bird spawning. You can focus these birds the second they spawn in the air. So the second you see these soaks is when you can press the focus macro. And then you're just focus kicking, range first, and then melee when they come in. Now, how are we getting them in easily? Well, you can have all your melee players just have a taunt macro set up for boss 2 and boss 3. Do not taunt boss 1 or you're taunting Belo'ren, and you will not be happy. So generally, I think we had 2 people on boss 2, 2 people on boss 3. It could have been 1 on 1. I don't remember how many melee we had. But the macro is just as simple as focusing either boss 1 or boss 2, and then taunting it in towards Belo'ren as a melee player. Very simple one to do. Definitely worth using. And then for the final macro, we have DK grips. Use this as either a DK tank or DPS, and it'll just target. So sorry, clarify. You can taunt either bird. It's only the kick that matters. You can taunt either bird no matter what. And then we have the DK macro here. So it's just Death Grip into Dark Command, and you will literally just press that, and you can see them getting gripped in. Very simple. Yeah. Now, soak positions, and you can see may opt to leave a bit more of a gap. So move this one over so a tank can go and soak these orbs. And we'll POV. What is POV?
Yeah. Alright, last ball guys.
It's light, so he won't be cleaning up here. You can see here, it's a bit hard to see the other tank player, the monk, is just walking along gobbling up all of these orbs here. The hunter player that you have assigned, and it's very good to have 2 hunter players, is literally just going to go clean up this wall of orbs here. Best way to look at it is just, and to absolutely simplify it, just look at the room as if it was divided up into 4 quadrants. So for the first part of the fight before intermission, you're playing on this side of the room. So you'll see here that the hunter is going to clean up the room that we're playing in over here. And then at the very end here, it's not absolutely necessary. He's going to disengage through both of them with turtle. You can also just clean up with turtle. And then that gives us so much room to play. And we'll go back here really quick just to reiterate. You see our first group soak over here. The range players that have, or anyone that has this color that's going out to soak, so anyone that is dark should be soaking these orbs out here. It makes space to get through. Make your little gap, let the off tank clean up. Now, the very valuable part about this is you're not using any healer externals for these group soaks, so you can place healer externals on tanks or DPS or anyone you feel needs to be on. Just go here. You've got orb cleanup, main tanks just sitting on the boss. Well, the orbs that are coming in of that color, that tank will go clean up.
Color swap soon.
And then maybe we will get a POV. We did not. Okay, so once again, he's sitting on the boss. You can see our monk over here going through and just cleaning up all those orbs over there to give us room. And then if we clean up here again.
2, 1.
We have orbs coming out, and this will just be tank job to give you like 4 or 5 orbs worth of space, and you can see them. Just go do a little cleanup here. This doesn't really hurt tanks at all, so they have plenty of ability to clean up here.
It's gonna change in a moment.
Okay.
Get in the
And
Z.
then, okay, this is where it gets interesting. Phase 2. So, first set of balls. Now, they're actually doing it wrong here compared to how we planned, but the idea is if you have 2 paladins or a rogue, just whatever immunities outside of your hunters that you have, we did 2 paladins. We'll just go out, bubble, and clean the hell out of these orbs around us. Now, the way I set it up was one should be dark, which they're not. and the other light, and they'll just clean up directly around where the entire raid is. And then we have movement here, and I'll just get a range POV. Back here, coming out of intermission. So movement, and then we're getting over here. And then you can see here, the dragon is pointing themselves inside of the soak to get knocked into an orb. Do not be afraid to soak orbs, ever. Get that through everybody's head, never be afraid to soak orbs. And then, now, the reason you need to get it in everybody's head that soaking orbs is fine. And before we do that, we'll just look at boss positioning. You can move the boss out a bit further. From this position, I think actually being around this tip here is quite good. And we can pull that up on here. So if we're doing first soak here, you're just having the range go out, like, you can have the boss, like, all the way down here. Give the range as much room as possible, and that will also give you time to soak these orbs coming in a circle. So, once again, tell your range and melee, they need to go soak these orbs, it is mission critical. Also, you can assign an immune here if you have an extra. Cleaning them up. Easy done. And then you'll see it happen again. As a raid leader, it's probably worth calling the color and telling them to go soak it. So, for example, light orbs, go soak. Just soaking those orbs down. Now, at this point in the fight, depending on how much damage you can do to the boss in the first egg phase, it is worth sending CDs and just emptying the bag. Sending things like, I believe we sent rogue CDs, we sent all of our mage CDs here to kill Belo'ren as fast as possible. Now, why is that? Because we opted for skipping this void light convergence into another set of birds. So that means Belo'ren needs to die, and I believe I have a note here. Kill eggs, murder boss. So just rip it. Belo'ren needs to die and phase into second intermission before 4 minutes 22 seconds. And that way you're not having to use another set of healer cooldowns on Void Light Convergence, and you're not having to do another set of birds. We found it very easy to achieve, getting it down within this time with people's CDs. And with 40 seconds in your second intermission, as well as 30 odd % to get through, it is very manageable. We actually had our Warlock dead here for the gate in. So a lot of us might have missed the gate here. Yep, as you can see, I believe I died. Had a couple dead, and we were still very easily able to kill this boss. Now, you can opt to do that next set of birds and that void light convergence. But with the stacking damage, honestly, it's probably going to be pretty free because you're already holding a lot of damage in P1. It's definitely worth still focusing these birds down, but still getting to that point and skipping that 4 minutes 22 seconds convergence. Definitely makes this fight just way simpler. And then finally, I will just go over cleanups and the nuance to some of them. So once again, obviously cleaning up orbs is very paramount in this fight. There is one key point here that I will show you. We actually didn't get at this pool. Uh, so I'll just do a quick explanation, though another video will probably show you this explanation. The way the orbs work, if from the very start of the fight, if the orbs are coming from the north and the south, every single orb set past that point will be east to west for the rest of the fight. And then exactly the same if they are an east to west start, like this at the very start of the fight, every single orb set after that will be north to south. Why this is important, it's for your hunters to clean up. And so you can assign this in whatever order you want. You go back into my CD assignments. This is the wrong one. Go back into my assignments here. I literally just have both hunters in. I don't know what order they decided on. Let your hunters decide that. I just have it set to turtle time in text, telling them, yep, time to go turtle. Same for the paladins, just out of intermission, just soak the balls. So, how does the hunter clean up here? Well, you have a north to south start. They're going to be cleaning up. Your tank will be cleaning up over here. So, do this. Your tank will be cleaning up this general area here. Your range DPS going to do the group soak. And also clean up like that as they do the soak. Your hunter, as the wall of orbs is coming, will start cleaning up these orbs. And then as they converge, they will gate through. They can also just disengage. You don't have to set this gate up. Disengage is just fine. They will disengage, clean up whatever's left there. And then you have this entire area completely safe. Easy. And then from that point on, at the 1 minute mark, so the second cleanup of orbs, you will be doing east to west after that point. And so, and you will be doing your next soak, boom, here. And, sorry, it's actually about where it is. So, once again, range can clear the path to do their soak. Your tank, clean up either. Generally, you'll just have your tank. The off tank is color that this wall is. You can also opt to external and just have the same tank do it every time. That can work. And then your hunter is once again just coming in, cleaning up the opposite side, and then disengaging here for whatever's left. And you'll have that rest of the room free. And then it is the exact same thing here. Very important. For this part here, your tank that's cleaning up this, have them start on the south side. Because your range is absolutely capable of making this wall here. And the important part, as you see, we're coming out of intermission. The tanks need to position the boss down south to give the range plenty of room to play the game. So you'll see here, they're clearing up all those orbs in that area, and once again, that is tanking the boss. Roughly somewhere around here. So whether it's this wall, once again, Hunter cleans up. Pretty much easiest way to look at it is just clean up the area of the room you're playing in. So that's for P1. That's this area. P2, this area. Quite easy. And then it is the exact same thing for the east to west start into north south for the rest of the fight. Definitely give your tanks and hunters, some respect. The fight's definitely going to be harder for them. And just understand it'll take a couple pulls for them to learn. Otherwise, that's Belo'ren made easy. Thanks for watching.